You might think, if I just wait and see what happens, this will probably go away on its own. I know police officers, when they're arresting people and they want the arrest to go smoothly, they don't want you to freak out, they will tell you this. And then you see, okay, they booked me, they arrested me for a felony. That's a bad sign. Never take advice from your opponent. And believe me, if you got arrested, the police are your opponents. Waiting and doing nothing could be the biggest mistake of your life. After you get arrested, the DA still has to take action if they want a court case to be against you. The DA only sees the police report unless someone steps in to challenge it, and the report is not going to be in your favor. If you wait until your first court date, treating that as though it's some sort of deadline, it is too late, because by then the DA will have already made up their mind as to whether they are going to actually file charges in court against you. So let's get into an example of how this could play out. Troy and Joy are engaged. One night after a friend's birthday party, they get into an argument at home. It gets loud. A neighbor hears them and calls 911. By the time the police arrive, everything is calmed down and neither Troy nor Joy wants to press charges. But the officers see an argument, ask a few questions, and they arrest Tony anyway. He's booked for domestic battery, even though Joy tells them that she never even felt threatened. When the police arrest Troy, they tell him, look, this whole thing, it's probably just going to go away. This isn't a big deal. The next morning, Troy bonds out. He was arrested for a misdemeanor, so his bail is only $20,000, but he still has to pay $2,000. And he starts thinking,
this is a stupid case. This is all a big misunderstanding. There is no way that the DA will actually file charges against me. This will probably go away. The police even told me that. Why spend money on a lawyer if I don't even know for sure that I'll be charged?
While Troy's waiting, the police report lands on the DA's desk. And guess what? It does not include Troy's side of the story. It only includes what the officers wrote. Even though Joy never wanted Troy arrested, the police report is written to justify the arrest. And the DA assumes that the report is accurate because Troy has not done anything to challenge it. So the DA files charges against Troy without hesitation. Once charges are filed, it's going to be much more difficult to get the DA to agree to dismiss them. It's going to take multiple court dates, and it may not be possible. If Troy had hired a lawyer immediately, his lawyer could have stepped in before the charges were filed. But Troy did nothing, so the DA never sees any of this, only the police report. Now his attorney has to fight to undo damages that could have been prevented and try to convince the DA to drop a case that they have already decided to pursue. I've seen this time and time again when someone calls me after their first court date, and I have had many, many similar cases where I was able to get it dropped before court, but they waited and now it is too late. So what should you do instead? Never assume that waiting it out is a strategy. It's not. The DA moves fast, and the best chance to stop charges is before they are filed. A defense attorney can contact the DA's office immediately, present your side of the story, and argue why the case shouldn't go forward.